Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson, and we are continuing to work in the art journal that we made. Real quick, there is now a cover and it's accordion fold. So the first 2 episodes in art journaling are showing you how to create the book. And then in the episode right before this one, I showed you how to create a texture, a page full of texture and full of patterns, and we're going to add a little bit more contrast to it to create your very first page and to celebrate you. So if you haven't done that, go to the previous episode and just like catch up. Now, if you're ready to work along with me, and your page is all ready, the first thing we're going to do is we're gonna grab the Sharpie, and we're getting the fat Sharpie, okay, the big Sharpie out. We're gonna add a little bit more of pattern, not pattern, sorry, oh my gosh, contrast. We're gonna add a little bit more contrast because, like, as you can see, all of this background, it's kind of blending in together. It's hard to see what's what. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do one thick line around the name. So if you're doing something like that, just go ahead and go one time. Don't need a lot because there is a lot of lines here. Okay, and that's good. And you see how it just brought it up for us right away. And then I'm going to add thick lines in between the sections. Just so that we can see that they are all different little sections, so that they're not kind of, you know, blending together. All right. Okay, and here is another option, and I'm just gonna do this for my hearts sections, but you can use it whenever you like, okay? So when you have a lot of negative space here, and negative space is the space around your designs, what you can do to fill it up quickly and kind of enhance the section, I'm gonna do 2 different ways. So one, you can just add like a broken line over here, and on the other side a little bit farther in so that we can see it. And see how it looks different from the other ones. It brings it up. But you don't have to do that for every section. Just maybe pick a couple and do that. I'm going to do this for the hearts, and then I'm going to show you the other way. I'm going to do that for the name. And after that, we're going to pull out coloring pencils, and we're going to add some color to this. I am so excited to add some color. Because you see the one that I did before, I did it black and white, monochromatic. Boring. Okay, so around the name, you can also do the broken line or use this Sharpie again, fat Sharpie, and just maybe add dots. Just go fast, don't overthink it. They don't need to be like at the same distance like the sewing machine does it. Yeah, we're doing this by hand, and it's fine. Let's see how it also brings it up. And like, I don't have a lot of room between U and B, so there's just going to be one line of dots, and that's okay. Not a big deal. Go, 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 go. You see how it just added texture to what's in front of us. And now for some reason, it gives me the vibes. Gives me the vibes of cacti something. I don't know why, but it kind of, I don't know why. It's interesting. So all the way around. Okay, and if you have like cutouts in your letters, then you want to go in here as well. All righty, so for your coloring, I want to encourage you to use colors that you like, colors that make you happy, and of course, colors that you have at home. So even if you just have a set of coloring pencils that's left over from your kids or grandchildren that just has 6 colors in them or maybe 12 colors in them. Just use that. Play with them. Try different pressure. Try if they mix or match or whatever. Try and see how they make you feel. Use what you have, okay? Now this is going up because we are done with that. And of course I had to bring all my coloring pencils because that's the fun part, right? So I think I'm gonna stick with, so what I usually try to pick 4 colors and that's it, and then just stick to the 4. So let's see, I'm gonna do, this is like a turquoise, I really like that. What would be a good contrast for that? I want it darker. No, hold on. I know I should have done it ahead of time. I'm gonna do this, and then to make it all happy, I'm gonna bring bright yellow. Oh, I like this. And pink. Oh, I love my pinks. So I'm just gonna do pink. This is gonna be super bright. Yeah? Okay, that's all I'm gonna use. Here we go. So decide what's the main color and start working on that. I think I'm gonna do all the area around the name first, and I'm gonna make that yellow. So just color it in. And this is gonna take a while. And that's okay. So see, I'm going all the way into the little wavy lines that I created, because this is what I want. And this is not like a piece of art I'm gonna show, you know what I mean? So I'm just coloring fast, not being too concerned. I'm trying not to get into the name because the name is going to be a whole different story, right? But I'm trying not to worry about my lines and my color going out the lines too much, you know, just a little bit, maybe. If you are starting your coloring already, I would highly recommend turning on some music that you enjoy. If you have maybe headphones, put on headphones. And while you're doing this, if you can, and if it works for you, make sure that your both feet are on the floor. Try to sit as straight as you can and check on your breathing. Okay, make sure you're breathing, because very often when we're doing something that we're not used to doing and we feel the pressure, like we feel that we put the pressure on ourselves to do good, right? I must do good. This must look good. I can do better than that. Like, and all of these stories that we tell ourselves, like, I have a piece of yarn right under my paper. Like we tell ourselves that, oh, I'm 45 years old, I should be able to color and make it look nice. Stop telling yourself these stories. Tell yourself the story of, I'm using coloring pencils and this is fun. I started an art journal and I really love it. Just make sure that you're breathing and you're showing yourself a lot of compassion and a lot of grace, and just accept yourself, accept what you're doing, accept what's happening on your page, okay? Now, sadly, I cannot accept what's happening to my page because I just used up all the lead on my pencil, so that's why I need a pencil sharpener. There we go. Don't forget the middles of the letters, because very often that happens to me. I would go through the whole thing and then I'm like, oh no, I forgot the middles. And they're sitting there staring at me, blank and empty and lonely. So we can do that. Okay, another thing, does it really matter where you start coloring? Not at all. If you would rather start coloring from some sections, go for it. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, wow, that already is super bright. I like that. I like that very much. Now I'm going to use, what do I want to do? So I really wanted to make my chevron different colors, but if I sit on that, that's going to take forever. So here's what I'm going to do just for the episode. I'm going to do one letter and then I'm going to move on, okay? And then I'll finish it off camera so that it doesn't take forever. So I'm just using my teal, and you can say, you can tell I love this color because this little pencil is getting smaller and smaller very fast. There. Now, could I leave it just like the teal and white? I probably could. Who's there to stop me, right? It's my page, my art. So if I decide to like leave some spaces as negative spaces, I totally can. And you know what? The more I talk about it, the more I like it. I'm just gonna do that. Okay. And then for my dill, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna do, let's try it this way. So I'm doing my leaves and my stems. Okay, and then the dill itself, I'm gonna add the yellow first. And listen, this color blending might not work with every pencil you have, but it's worth a try. You never know. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And then I'm putting a little bit of green right on top of that. See what it does? I just love that. I just absolutely love this. And then, of course, you knew I was gonna do that. I'm gonna do very light pink right around it. If you want to know why, I cannot explain it. It just feels good. As you can see, I love this color too. I think it's this little stabby thing. I think it's even smaller than the teal. Okay. Now, it is important in what direction you color, especially when you go lighter. You want to keep the same direction. So if you're going up and down, then just keep putting your strokes, so to speak, yeah, your coloring lines up and down. Because if you start changing them, it's gonna look scratchy, and it will be very hard to achieve consistent color. So if you want to do that, and then, you know, you can always go back and add some more color in the areas where you want to have a little bit of brighter color. So I'm putting brighter color here on one side of my letter. See, it kind of makes it a little bit, helps it stand out a little bit. Okay, so the plan is to finish these letters off camera, and that's fine. Let's see, sections, this is fun. Okay, so let's do the flower first, and I'm gonna do one of each and then, you know, off camera so that we're not sitting here forever. I'm thinking, so I could go with the traditional colors for my flower, well, traditional for some, I don't know. I can do the yellow center and then maybe use very light teal and highlight my petals. Well, the thing is that I love love, love, love. What are they called? Echinacea flowers, I think. Cone flowers. I really love them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them in that kind of thing, that kind of colors, okay? And I do not have anything that looks remotely brown. So I do not want to grab any more colors because I said I'm just going to use these 4. So I'm going to give it a green center, and then I'm going to come back with some yellow, and I'm going to cross my fingers that it looks good. And if it doesn't, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'll go back into my box and I'll find the color that works for it, yeah? But then, as I'm adding some pink right on top of it, it's kind of turning that brownish color. See what's happening? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Just the way I like it. Showing lots of color. This is just the way. Okay, now let's color some petals. So I'm gonna do my petals super bright. So I'm pushing the pencil very hard on the tips. Right here, and then there is something showing over here. Okay, and then I'm going to do light touch on the bottom. And I'm kind of coming back and forth, top and bottom of each petal, and kind of blending it in together a little bit. It's probably petals right here. Just make sure you're going in the same direction, up and down, or whatever you choose. Here a little bit more. Okay, and I'm gonna grab the yellow and just go right here and just blend it in. And you see how it kind of, it turns orangish. Perfect for a coneflower. So if your pencils don't blend as well, and that's absolutely okay, because usually I really want you to use what you have. I don't want you to have to go to the store and buy a gazillion of new supplies. Just grab orange. Just grab orange and do this with your orange. Okay, here comes my teal. I'm just gonna fill in the spaces right here. And I am applying a lot of pressure because I really like to have nice, saturated, bright color. Cool. Okay, now let's do, what am I thinking? Because I do not want to end up with yellow over here. So I'm gonna put yellow here, right in this section. And then if you guessed pink, you guessed right. I'm gonna do pink. And then that last section, I'll do the green. All right, this is screaming me. It's screaming, Luba. That is so me. Okay, hearts are next. So here we can decide if we want to color again, the negative space or the positive space, or both. If we're doing both, we need to make sure you have good contrast. So let's say if I'm making pink hearts, I want to have yellow on the outside, or maybe green on the, teal on the outside. The pink and the green are not gonna look as bright next to each other, but they can. So kind of play with your colors, decide what you want to do. I'm going to probably make my hearts teal because why not? And I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna do lighter bottom and a darker top. So that's my intention, because I want to see like a little of gradient of color. So as I'm going up, I keep the same pressure for now. I'm just coloring them really pretty much the same tone, but then from the top, I'm gonna start adding a little bit more pressure. And as I go down, I make it less and then more and less, you know, just play with that. And I think that's what I wanted. Okay, let's do next, maybe even lighter. Okay. So as we're working on this, I'm gonna tell you that in the next episode, we're gonna be playing with watercolors. So if you want to work along, you will need some sort of watercolors and a watercolor brush and a paper. So try to get something that's at least 80-pound paper. You can also use white cardstock if you like. If you have some extra left over from this will work. Okay. Oh, I do not want to do yellow here, because if I do yellow, it will match my yellow over here. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do my pink real quick. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you see what's happening here. I will just keep going and color all this section pink. I'm just gonna leave it right now for the sake of time. Now we're going into the stripes, and I can repeat the stripes from here to keep things consistent, okay? So here's my green stripe, and I'll just match it right here. And then I have the pink. And yellow. Oh, I love this, bright colors, love bright colors. And then teal. And repeat, just make a pattern and repeat. Patterns are very pleasing to the eye as you make them, as you look at them later, especially when you create a pattern and then you repeat the same pattern in different sections of your art. And pink. All right, now if you are wondering what I'm gonna do with my little wiggly plants, I don't know yet, but for some reason my hand picked up the teal, told you my favorite color. Okay, and I'm just gonna do those, I'm gonna color in the bubbles. Okay, and I think I'm gonna just go over just applying a whole lot of pressure to the pencil so that we get very nice color. Okay, and I really don't feel like coloring in this whole section like that. Maybe I'll use my pink and I'll just go around and add dots, and I'll see if I don't like it. Now see, like you cannot just dot like you stipple, you have to actually draw the dot with your pencil, because sometimes we feel like it's stippling. And it really doesn't work on pencils. You will just break your pencils trying to go dot, dot, dot like that. You really want to have a little bit more control. Okay, I might change this. I don't know. I will look at it. But again, do what works for you, okay? Yes, nice, right? I love this. Okay, this I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna show you one more thing before I let you go. And this is why I had this double frame and I grabbed the wrong Sharpie. I'm going with ultra fine, and I'm just gonna break it up into little not even sections. So some of them longer, some of them shorter. Just break this up. And then I make sure that my corners, I have this little like rectangle, or maybe it's a square, whatever works. Okay, and so now you have all these sections that you can fill up or fill in whichever way it works for you. So you can add color, you can add patterns. Let's finish this. Just making sure that I have different length of them, so that they don't look like they were made with the ruler. Okay, and what I like to do, I usually put something that's the same in the corner. So I'll probably have a little heart here. And then color with my pencil and use my Sharpie to, you know, add things that I need to. All right, so this finishes this episode, and I will see you in the next one.